The Zephyrian Invincible Armada had conquered 17 star systems without losing a single vessel. Their crystalline hulls gleamed like captured starlight as they moved through space in perfect formation, each ship a masterpiece of advanced engineering that had taken centuries to perfect. Admiral Kethvar stood on the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dominion, watching the blue-white marble of Earth grow larger in the viewport. Such a primitive world, he murmured to his tactical officer. Their radio transmissions indicate they've barely achieved nuclear fusion. This will be over within the hour. The Zephyrians had studied humanity for months. Earth's inhabitants were young, chaotic, and technologically inferior. They fought amongst themselves with crude projectile weapons and barely functional spacecraft, held together with what the translation computers could only render as duct tape and hope. The intelligence reports had been almost laughable. Humans actually strapped themselves to controlled explosions just to escape their own gravity well. "Sir," the communications officer announced, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth." "Put it through," Kethvar commanded, expecting the usual pleas for mercy. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a middle-aged human woman in a simple blue uniform. Her hair was graying at the temples, and she wore an expression of calm determination that seemed oddly misplaced given the circumstances. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force," she said. "I assume you're here to demand our surrender." Kethvar was momentarily taken aback by her directness. "Indeed. Your world will submit to Zephyrian rule, or you'll destroy us." Yes, we've heard this speech 16 times before from the other species you've conquered. Chen's interruption was delivered with the casual tone of someone discussing the weather. "We decline." "You decline?" Kethvar's mandibles clicked in confusion. "Do you not comprehend the futility of resistance? Our shields are impenetrable. Our weapons can crack planets. Your largest vessels are the size of our escape pods." Chen nodded thoughtfully. "You know, you're absolutely right about all of that. In a fair fight, you'd reduce our entire fleet to scrap metal in about 30 seconds. She paused, then smiled in a way that made Kethvar's carapace prickle with unease. "But humans don't believe in fair fights." "What do you—" The transmission cut off. Moments later, proximity alarms began screaming throughout the Zephyrian fleet. "Report!" Kethvar barked. "Sir, single vessel approaching from the asteroid belt. Configuration unknown." It's massive, sir. Approximately 40 kilometers in length." Kethvar's eyes widened. The largest human vessel in their intelligence files was barely 2 kilometers long. "Show me." The main screen shifted to display what could only be described as controlled chaos given form. The approaching ship, if it could even be called that, looked like someone had taken a small moon, hollowed it out, strapped every conceivable type of engine to its surface, and then welded on enough weapons to arm a small fleet. It moved with surprising grace for something so unwieldy, rotating slowly to reveal battle scars and hull patches that spoke of hasty construction and field repairs. "Receiving another transmission," the communications officer reported, voice tight with nervousness. Admiral Chen reappeared, now standing in what looked like a cramped command center filled with jury-rigged equipment and crew members who appeared to be holding their stations together with determination and caffeine. "Meet the prototype," she announced cheerfully. "Humanity's first attempt at building something that might survive a conversation with people like you. She's ugly, unreliable, and held together with prayer and stubbornness. She's also the meanest ship in the galaxy." Kethvar studied the bizarre vessel with growing unease. Impossible. Our sensors detect no energy signatures consistent with shields or advanced weaponry. Your vessel cannot pose a threat to— You're scanning for your technology, Chen interrupted. That's your first mistake. The prototype suddenly accelerated, moving far faster than anything its size should have been capable of. Instead of heading directly for the Zephyrian fleet, it began a complex spiral pattern that defied every tactical manual Kethvar had ever studied. Sir, the vessel is— It appears to be ejecting objects, thousands of them. Space mines? Kethvar wondered aloud. Negative, sir. They appear to be rocks. Just rocks. Chen's laughter echoed across the bridge. Not just any rocks. Asteroid fragments accelerated to a significant percentage of light speed using technology we borrowed from about 15 different species. We've been collecting them for months. Kethvar felt his confidence begin to waver. Kinetic bombardment? Primitive, but the velocities would have to be enormous to penetrate our shields. Oh, they won't penetrate your shields, Chen agreed. That's not the point. The first projectiles struck the leading Zephyrian vessels. The shields held, as expected, but something strange began happening. The crystalline hulls started resonating, emitting a harmonic frequency that grew steadily stronger. What? Kethvar began, then stopped as understanding dawned. The humans hadn't been trying to penetrate their shields. They'd been studying the harmonic frequency of Zephyrian crystal technology and finding its resonance point. You might want to evacuate, Chen suggested helpfully as more projectiles found their marks. We're not entirely sure what happens when crystalline matrix reaches critical harmonic resonance, but our scientists estimate you have about 90 seconds to find out. The prototype continued its impossible dance through space, launching projectile after projectile with terrifying precision. Each impact added to the growing harmonic cascade spreading through the Zephyrian fleet. Warning klaxons screamed as hulls began developing stress fractures. Retreat, Kethvar ordered, abandoning all pretense of dignity. All ships emergency jump! As the Invincible Armada fled into hyperspace, those vessels still capable of maintaining hull integrity, Admiral Chen's final transmission followed them into the void. Next time you're thinking about conquering someone, she called out, maybe ask yourselves, what would humans do? Then prepare for something completely different. The prototype watched the last Zephyrian ship disappear, then slowly began its journey back to Earth. In the asteroid belt, human mining crews were already back at work, collecting more rocks, just in case.